Hey guys, thank you all so much for jumping on this call with me. It is awesome that you're here. I really appreciate it. For some of you that don't know, I'm going to record this just in case anybody can't get on. But I just want to say thank you for jumping on and spending your Thursday night with me to learn a little bit more about Beachbody, to see if maybe this is something for you, and if you want to also join the team. Can you guys see my screen? Yeah. Okay, thank you. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to kind of take you through my journey with Beachbody. Basically, I'm going to, a lot of you know who I am today, and my journey and how I found Beachbody and how I got to where I am today is very interesting, and I don't know that a lot of people fully know it all. So I'm going to kind of start from my life before Beachbody, and how I came to find it, and how, if it can play a role in your life as well. So I actually have a background in fashion. I went to college for fashion marketing, and I ended up getting a job as an eyewear designer in the corporate world. And I job hopped a lot. I kept trying to find, the perfect thing. Most of you guys probably know that perfect thing doesn't exist, but I really wanted, that ideal thing. And I knew pretty quick, at least within my first year of being in the corporate world, that it was not for me. I hated it. I did not play the politics very well. I'm, a happy person. I like getting along with people, and the corporate world is not like that. You kind of need to play by the, you have to play by the books. There's a lot of politics and things that go behind, and I, kind of just got lost in it all. And I somehow, I came to find Beachbody because I started doing an at-home program called Turbo Fire, and I didn't know what was happening to me at the time because I never worked out before, and I just sort of always went into my cubicle every day, and I kind of felt like there had to be more, right? I couldn't comprehend my life just being this cubicle job and just staying there. So a little bit, further back, I I grew up as a little chubby kid. I have the glasses, obviously. So I was a 4 eyes, a metal mouth, chubby little girl. I mean, that was not ideal growing up, And I never played sports. I was never active. I basically almost failed gym class a bunch of times. I even tried out for the volleyball team going into high school, and I was told before I even joined or tried out that everybody was going to make it because not enough girls were joining. And yeah, I still didn't make the team. So that just goes to show, like, I was not athletic. I was never, anyone on any of the sports teams or anything like that. But my journey, really started to take off because finally in the end of 2012 is when I officially got diagnosed with endometriosis. So, a lot of my whole life, I just always was in pain. I was in and out of doctors, like there was nobody's business. And nobody knew kind of what was wrong with me. And I just, felt like maybe that was just my life. I was just meant to kind of be in pain, and I was unlucky. And, I was a very big party girl. I mean, I still like to party, don't get me wrong, but I'm more conscious of it now, I guess. And I didn't realize what I was doing to my body. I didn't know that I was fueling this, what I call endo monster, living inside of me, and everything that I was doing was making it worse, and I had no idea. And so I've actually been on this health journey now for about 4 years, and it's really it's definitely been interesting. And I worked in New York City, so for some of you that don't know, like my area, it was about a 2-hour commute one way. I had to take 2 trains. I was putting in so many hours. I mean, I would have to be out of my house at least by 6:30 a.m. and I usually didn't walk in my house until about 8 p.m. That was a good day. And it was just really rough. Like I hated who I was becoming because, I mean, if you ever lived or worked in a city, I mean, New York City is just like in a whole nother ballpark, but I just was becoming this nasty person. You know, I remember being on the elevator on the way up to my office on my cube and being like, I just like hate everything. You know, I needed something for myself, and I knew I needed to make a change. And I knew that wasn't for me. Like I couldn't do that anymore. I couldn't imagine having kids and a husband and a house and a mortgage and all these other things and still having to commute and work at this horrible job and that I was getting nothing out of. It just was not a good fit. And what I did, I remember it, I still have it saved. I sat on the train on my way home one day and I wrote in my notes on my cell phone, like a bunch of things that I absolutely loved. And then I also wrote a bunch of things that I hated, because it's just as important to know what you hate than what you love also. I also did buying, and I'm not a numbers person, so that was not a good fit. So I knew what I didn't want, but I knew a lot of things that I did want. And the one thing that I noticed was, in the things that I did want were to make a difference in other people's lives, to make a difference in my own life. And I knew I loved being around people. I loved talking and meeting new people. I love traveling. I always want to kind of like be, you know, on the cutting edge and on to the next thing. And I love learning, and I love, you know, embracing new things. And that was the one thing that kind of always stood out. So I, you know, had to make some really big decisions, because it's a big thing. You know, I had this corporate job, right? And I was making, you know, New York City money, and I was young, and, you know, I had this brand manager position title, and I was going on these meetings, and one of my brands was for Donald Trump, and I would go to the Trump Tower in New York City and have a meeting with him about sunglasses. And I would travel to Italy twice a year, and you know, having that and knowing where I could have gone with that career, it was a lot to take in, you know. But I had to figure out, you know, what was more important to me. You know, like I tried convincing myself that I was helping people see, because it made me feel a little bit better that I was making these really crappy sunglasses. And I just, you know, my whole life was in that cube, and I had to figure out, you know, what was more important, you know, me being happy and me having time freedom and being able to go on vacations and not having to sit there and be like, oh, can I ask my boss if I can take this day off? Like, what am I going to say? Are they going to let me take off? Like, it was just, you know, I had to balance it. I had to figure out, you know, what I really wanted and what my definition of success was for me personally. But, you know, before a lot of that even comes to play, you kind of have to know, like, why you're doing these things. You know, what do you want? I knew that I wanted, obviously, to do more, but I didn't know, like, what that meant, right? I was just like, I want to help people, and I want to help myself, and that's kind of as far as I got. And I just definitely there had to be more. And you know, your why should be extremely personal. You know, a lot of people have their why they want to change their life, why they want to change their health, is because they want a better future for either their family, their kids, themselves. And, you know, my why kind of has changed a lot, but I wanted something for me. I wanted to prove to myself that I could make something happen, and I could do pretty much anything that I wanted. I would be able to travel, that I would literally help people all over the world. And, you know, I just wanted this lifestyle that I dreamt of. You know, I would look at these girls in Turbo Fire. That's kind of where everything happened for me. I was literally doing one of my Turbo Fire workouts in my basement, and I was like bouncing around, and I was like, wouldn't this be freaking awesome if I was in that video doing what that person is doing for me. Like I just was like, what if I am like a Shanti or like a Shailene touching somebody's life that I've never met? Like what if I could do that? And that's where it all kind of spiraled. And I followed her on Instagram and on Facebook, and she, Shailene's just excuse my language, she's the shit. And I just really wanted that. So I looked into what I could do, and I knew I really wanted to travel. That's another big thing, a really big passion of mine. So that picture up at the top right is actually on a cruise that I earned 100% free. And I was able to take my boyfriend with me. If you can see where I'm in the pink shorts and he's the one with the one arm, because we were doing yoga with Tony Horton, and Tom does not do yoga. So he was like, what the heck? But in the bottom corner on the right is me and a bunch of girls that are on my team. And I would have never met any of them in that picture if it wasn't for Beachbody. And that's actually taken in Texas, and we were having an 80s party night. Obviously, there's Ma in the middle. If you guys follow me on social media, Ma is just killing it. And she's also a coach, and, anything's possible. And then at the bottom is a picture from last year's Million Women Worldwide March, and we're actually having it next week. I'm so excited. And that's kind of those girls in that bottom picture I have maybe met once that day. And it took me even a long time to find where I was in that picture. But my whole reason is everything here. This is my why. This is what I'm trying to do and make everything happen so that I can truly affect others' lives and make something happen. But at the same time, do it for me, because I never want to go back to that corporate life. I never want to sit in a cubicle again. I would go crazy. So you kind of have to really think about, why are you here, right? Something obviously is clicked. And sometimes, things, if you were asked, what would your ideal day like, be if you couldn't do anything in the world, what would that look like? This is kind of what I gauged myself on, when I knew I wanted to change careers. I was like, what do I like? What's my ideal life look like? I wanted to, I know I want to travel. My ideal day is waking up, getting some coffee, reading a book, doing my yoga, working out, talking to people and helping people, so you have to really think about that too. What would your ideal day be like if you could do anything? Obviously, erase the money, because that's obviously a big thing. But if you can eliminate that, and if you could do something, anything, what would that day be like for you? So really think about that, because I think that's extremely powerful, and that can take you really, really far. And if you have a lot of people that come to you because you are an inspiration already, do people already come to you because they're like, what are you doing? You're awesome. Or, how did you cook that food? Because I can't cook. My kids are so picky. How do you get around it? Things like that. And then, I have at the bottom too, a recommended reading, The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. I mean, if you're kind of need a little guidance, that book is amazing. And it could probably help you kind of figure out a few things if you don't know. And honestly, I knew that I wanted to leave my corporate job. I knew that I did not want to do that anymore. But it's a scary thing. I mean, most of you guys obviously have careers, right? It's a scary thing to kind of take a step back and be like, I'm not going to do what I set out for. I went to college for fashion marketing. Nothing to do with what I'm doing now. That's a big thing. You invested a ton of time and a ton of money. I mean, I still have loans for something that I'm not even doing, it's a scary thing, but what you think and what you want, is it just straight up fear? Are you just scared, to ever really leave something that you're so used to, or do you think you could? Do you have that support? Do you believe that you could actually do something like that? It's truly what you believe and how you think of yourself. especially with this business. Okay, so on the outside, I might look like I have everything together, but we are all humans, right? Like, I have my crazy hot mess days. Sometimes, I don't know what I'm doing, and that's the beauty of it, because I, share those things, and that is what kind of sets you apart from everybody. And, it connects you with people. I always get so many people that I think would be an amazing coach, right? And then that word coach kind of freaks people out sometimes. And when I meet somebody and I'm like, you would be an amazing coach. And they're like, but who, but like, I don't have like anything, like I'm not at my goal weight, or I'm not at my fitness level, like I don't have a six-pack, like I get so many objections, and people are just like, I could never do that, like I'm not a coach. But honestly, like who would you relate to, who would you go up to and talk to more? Somebody that is similar to you, who struggles, who still like wants to eat something bad late at night that they shouldn't, or would you feel comfortable going and talking to somebody that's completely ripped with a six-pack that basically eats boiled chicken and steamed broccoli like 17 times a day, but that's ripped? Like, people are more comfortable with people that are like them, that are real, people that, have flaws, like nobody's perfect, and I think that's what, the beauty of this business is, because honestly, because of Beachbody, I opened up about having endometriosis. I never talked about it before I became a coach. And I didn't even talk about having endometriosis until I was a coach for almost 4 months. So I joined in January, and I never talked about it. I never opened up, because if you have it, it's a very personal thing, and it's something that you don't really want to go around sharing and shouting out from the rooftop. And I never talked about it, and being a Beachbody coach literally forced me to. And it was probably the best thing I ever did, because most of you right now on this call would not be in my life, right? So it's sharing your story. It's being yourself. And I mean, you're drawn to people that are like you. And that's amazing, because you can actually make a living off of that. So we all know, obviously, money is a big thing, right? Like, I came from a super corporate background. So that means for me, I had that steady paycheck. I was making, a certain amount of salary. I had the PTO days, the vacation, all of that stuff, and I put a lot of time into my old companies. I mean, I sometimes wouldn't even be able to go to the bathroom for hours, because I was like, I have so much to do. So, I mean, you have to think about it, like, how active are you right now at your job? Like, I mean, are you literally like putting your heart and soul into a job and getting nothing back? Like, you got to kind of figure out that balance, like how much effort and work are you putting into something, and if you're not going to get anything back. So, it's one of those things where, like, what are you worth? Like, how much is your time worth? I love this. Richard Simmons, one day, love him. So I know a lot of people too. I mean, this isn't like an old school business, fitness company. This obviously, sadly, we don't have Richard Simmons on our roster, but this isn't just basic networking. I mean, Beachbody is so different, because I really believe in our community sets us apart. I mean, it's not like a Mary Kay where you need to invest all of this money and then you have a bunch of programs and Shakeology sitting in your house, and then you have to individually try to sell it. It's not like that. It's really basically a true freedom. I mean, you can be anywhere working. If you want to be on the beach working one day, you will be on the beach working one day. Like, all of that stuff can happen. And the community, I think, is really what sets everything apart. My coming from a corporate world, and especially in fashion, guys, like that movie Devil Wears Prada, that exists. Like, that is real. I witnessed it, you know, and to go from something like that is extremely catty and negative and just cutthroat to being around people that are truly your friends and that push you to be more on a daily basis and push you out of that comfort zone. It's unlike anything you will ever experience. I mean, it's like literally being with like your people. That's what I call it. Like they're my tribe. You're my people. When I'm with you, I'm totally myself because we just get each other. We all know the same things. We all believe in the same purpose, you know? And also too, I mean, Team Beachbody it's an amazing thing to be a coach because they do all the work. I'm sure most of you guys have seen all those infomercials late at night at one point or the other, whether it's Brazilian butt lift, T25, P90X, Insanity, right? Most of you have seen all of those infomercials. So you, as a coach, you don't have to do anything. You know, you don't have to go and start from scratch like you would if you were to build your own business. Team Beachbody is kind of like having a franchise. It's like a franchise, right? You're paying for the names. Right? Like you got the name. You don't have to do the marketing. People know what Insanity is. People know what P90X is. Do you know how much time and money that takes to make something like that a household name brand? I mean, people know what they are. They might not know Tony Horton, but they know P90X. And then if you're like, oh yeah, I do P90X stuff. Oh, I've seen those infomercials late at night when I feel fat and gross or you can't sleep. So here are basically not all of them, because Beachbody does have a lot of programs, but for the majority, here's a lot of stuff that we do have. A lot of the new programs are awesome. We have obviously P90X, Insanity, Turbo Fire, which is my jam. The newest programs are like the 21-day fix. PIO is also a new one. PIO's actually been around for about 10 years as a class in gyms, and now they finally just made it into a DVD program, which is amazing. I also teach it, and it's awesome. And the newest program, I guess you could call it, that just got released is Beachbody On Demand, and it's honestly like Netflix for workouts. I know some of you guys travel a lot. I used to travel all the time for work. And I mean, I still do travel. And I used to have to schlep my DVDs with me and my computer. And my computer doesn't have a CD DVD thing inside of it. So I had to go get that external thing that I plug the thing in to put my DVD in. Like, I would have to take so much stuff with me just to work out and to continue. So now you can actually log in through any tablet, computer, even on your phone too, and especially things like Body Beast. Body Beast, you need a full gym, right? Like if you don't know, Body Beast, you do need a lot of equipment because you're building mass, you're getting boosty, right? So you need those weights. And now with Beachbody On Demand, you can go. You don't have to invest all that money in buying, 60-pound dumbbells. Like, who needs that? You can go somewhere now and actually do it, and you can take it on your phone with you. So these are just a bunch of programs. I'm sure you guys have all seen some of them. The Beachbody Ultimate Reset that you see all the way at the bottom corner is a 21-day whole foods detox. I've done it twice. It is amazing. Amazing. I've never felt better. I mean, you literally glow after that reset. Shakeology, of course, too, is a superfood dense nutrition that you need every single day. So I actually eat for my endo, and Shakeology, I freaking swear by. It has changed my life. I drink it every single day, sometimes twice, and I make desserts with it. I've made ice cream, pies, cakes. I can make my own Reese's peanut butter cups with it. You can just do so much with it. There's a vegan option, gluten-free, and it's soy-free. It literally changes lives. I mean, we're trying to get my mom off of a lot of her medications for her cholesterol and her triglycerides, and she's, going to get there because she has something like Shakeology every single day. More about Shakeology. I love it. So it's honestly, it can be a meal replacement, but it's not a protein shake. It's not a weight loss shake. It's not, a recovery drink. It can be all of those, but it's not just one of those. I personally drink mine as a snack. And if you can see, like, this picture that kind of shows the breakdown, like, I used to go to Starbucks at least twice a day when I worked in the city. I mean, I was exhausted all the time. I needed that afternoon chocolate, like, pick me up. I would literally, like, walk to 7-Eleven and always try to get, like, a chocolate bar or something to kind of, like, pick me up. At the end of the day, it's like 2 o'clock and you're just like, ugh, so this day is never going to end. And that's kind of where Shakeology comes into play for me personally, because it helps with those chocolate cravings. I get all of this energy. And because it's got so many superfoods, I don't get sick. I don't feel like crap. Like, knock on wood, I haven't been sick for the past 2 years. And I would always get sick, like those head colds, especially when the seasons change. Like, I don't know, like, here in Jersey, today was beautiful and tomorrow it's going to freaking snow. Like, do you know how many people are going to get sick, right? But I have my Shakeology and I'm not going to. I don't need to take any other vitamins. I don't need to take anything else because I have Shakeology every day. And it's freaking chocolate. I mean, you really can't go wrong with chocolate every day. Sometimes twice. So another really awesome thing about Beachbody is we're growing like crazy. And one of the awesome things is we are starting to go international. We're starting with Canada first. And it's been amazing. I mean, everybody, we have a few Canada people, Canadians. I don't know. A few of them on our team. And I mean, everybody just needs, something, right? Like, I mean, the obesity rate is just out of control here. I mean, most of you guys know. This chart was taken at one of our live events. It's called Summit that we have every year. And I personally took it. And I mean, it's absolutely crazy to see how and where we're going. Beachbody is kind of always, looking one step ahead, especially with Beachbody On Demand being launched. I mean, that's huge. Like, that's going to be a really big game changer because, if you're traveling or if you want to try out different programs and you're just not sure what you want, now you have the option to do all of those things. And I know that a lot of people, like I said earlier, kind of have like that whole thing like, wait, I can't be a coach. Like, I'm not a fitness professional. I have no background. I have no certificates. Like, I have no, certifications. I don't know anything. But honestly, anybody can be a coach. Like, these are people that are on our team currently. Erin is going, she's actually right in the middle of taking her bar exams. So she's always studying. Mike at the bottom, he actually works with me. Like, I teach fitness classes, and he actually is a personal trainer and a gym owner. And he is a coach. I mean, why not, right? Brione is a single mom of twins. Marie is, she owns her own daycare company. She's a mom and she's in her 50s. I will be almost 29. Sounds so scary. But anybody can be a coach. When I first started as a coach, I was nothing. Not that I was nothing, but I didn't have any certifications. I was not a fitness instructor. I was not a holistic health coach. All I knew was I had this passion and this love for sharing something that changed my life in my freaking basement. And that's all that you need. Anybody can do this. You just have to have the passion and the drive to want to help others. And if you have that, then you're a coach. You don't have to have a six-pack. Like, I'm on a mission to get one, but I'm not there yet, Like, you don't have to be super ripped or, a gym owner. Like, Mike is awesome, but he's still not even at his own goals or anything. So anybody can really do this. And, honestly, you just kind of have to be like a go-getter. I mean, at the end of the day, you are still creating a business for yourself. And that's the amazing thing. Like, you put in what you want to get out. If you are self-motivated, if you are willing to open up and be open-minded and learn from others. I mean, we have some people on our team that are literally like number 7 in the company, number 11 in the company, like insane. We have, so many amazing people, and the only thing that we all have in common is that we just want to help others because we believe in something that helps us. So as long as you have all of those things, you can totally be an amazing, successful coach that's setting yourself up for your future. One of the things, too, that I always get asked is, what do you do all day? I kind of sit here all day on social media, and it's amazing. I love it. I really just talk to people all day long. I do calls like this. I talk to my coaches. I talk to my team. I talk to challengers. I run accountability groups online. I sometimes even will text my challengers on a daily basis, and I'll be like, show me a picture that you worked out. Honestly, that's kind of what you do. Because you guys know, right? Like sometimes you just need that accountability. All you need is somebody to kind of cheer you on, right? Like we all just need a little cheerleader saying like, you can do it. You're okay. Like you're not tired. You're not going to give up. And I promise you're not going to give up because you promised me. So now I'm going to promise you. That's what a coach does. And, coaches can truly change lives. I mean, these programs obviously work. But at the end of the day, anybody can go buy a DVD off of Amazon or eBay or borrow it from a friend, right? Anybody can go do that. You can even download it illegally, probably, right? The difference is you as a coach are the one thing that either allows somebody to be successful with a weight loss health journey or is not. Because you're proof that these things work, right? Like you already know that they work. You already love them. And they've obviously changed your life in some way. And now, when somebody comes up to you and they're like, oh, you know how it is if you go to the gym? I don't know about you, but I do not like going to the gym. Like I was never a gym person. But sometimes, at the end of the day, you're like, oh, I have to go to the gym. But nobody's going to know if I do or if I don't. And then you just kind of be like, I'll go tomorrow. I'll start Monday. And then you just never make it happen. But having a coach and being that person for someone that pushes them and that keeps them accountable and that, forces them to be like, let me see a sweaty selfie. That's the difference between, making a true change in your life and not. Money. So obviously coaches, we do make income, right? Like this is my full-time job. And you can earn money in a bunch of different ways. You obviously get direct sale commissions, but you also get something that's called the team cycle bonus. And the team cycle bonus is honestly where you can have a residual income coming in weekly. It's that one thing that's just going to keep growing. And it's going to truly be a huge game changer. I mean, if you guys kind of like see, I know the picture's kind of hard to see, but you can see the potential. I mean, there's a legit millionaires club, Beachbody. Like there's a huge handful of coaches that have made over $1 million with Beachbody. The amount of success and where you can truly go with this is unlike anything else. You can make it anything. There's just, at a job, like at a corporate job, right? Like you would have to wait for your 1-year review to maybe get a promotion if there's enough in the budget and if certain sales were met and all that crap, right? That's how it was for me. I had to wait for April every year to see if I could possibly get a raise. Well, guess what? I don't have to wait for anybody. It's up to me. I make it. If I want a raise, I'm going to go get myself a raise. There's nobody stopping me. There's no boss that you have to kind of maybe, oh, is she in a bad mood today? I probably can't ask her. Oh, she's in a good mood. Let me see if I can maybe somehow ask to get more money. Like, there's none of that. It's up to you. Like, you can do it. you have the power to make this be whatever you want. And then, to get started, to be totally honest, you get what you put into it. So if you just sit there and if you're just like, I'm going to be a coach, nothing's really going to happen because you're not investing anything in it. But if you invest, you're going to see it tenfold. To start with, you would probably need about 3 to 5 hours a week to start with, because that is going to include your training that our team provides you with. And you also will need to be a product of the product. So that's going to be, working out and drinking your Shakeology, checking in with your challenge group, and then also learning about everything. And then we have one-on-one calls very similar to this, and we'll get to know each other a lot better. But, being a product of the product is huge. And the cool thing is, too, when you sign up as a coach, you would get what's called a challenge pack. That's honestly the best way to sign up as a coach because you'll save money. But all of your coach fees are going to be waived. And it's another thing, too, because then you'll also be able to pick out one of those programs that I showed you guys earlier. You'll be able to pick out a program and Shakeology. So even if you have a program, it's just another great way to kind of get another program in your library. Have access to something else, because our programs are designed as a timeline. And if you're like me, I'm always like, oh, okay, what's next? What am I going to do now? I got like workout ADD. I'm like, oh, what's next? I always want something new after I finish something. So this is a great way too. If you already have a program, it's another way to get an additional one for the next round. And you can also get your Shakeology this way too. So you'll end up getting a discount when you bundle them up together. That it could be from anywhere from $140 to $305, depending what program you pick. And like I said, your coach fees will be waived that way also. And then once you move on from month one, there is a $15.95 fee. And in that fee is going to cover 3 websites. So Beachbody provides you with everything. I mean, I don't know about you, but I've tried making my own website, and it is not enjoyable. It costs a lot of money, and somebody else and like third-party people to come in and make me pretty things and logos, and I don't have to do any of that. I get 3 websites. So you get a Shakeology website, you get a website that's for programs, and then you also get an Ultimate Reset website. So you get 3 websites that you don't have to do a single thing for. And then you also get a discount as a coach. So you get 25% off of everything in Beachbody World, and that includes your Shakeology. And another really cool thing too is if you're a military family, all of those fees are completely waived and you get discounts. Hey. So if you're a military family, make sure you let either me or whoever gave you this webinar or invited you here, let them know, so then that way we can get you the form to fill out so you don't have to pay anything extra. So here's kind of like a glance into what your life looks like when you sign up with us, right? So it's, I remember when I first signed up as a coach, I was like, okay, I'm going to sign up. And then what do? I was kind of like, I don't know what to do now. This is exciting. So what we do is we have an apprenticeship group that we put you through. So basically you're going to go through training. Like we're going to be there with you guys the entire step of the way. And we really focus on helping you find your why, find your story. We go into all of the basics of the Beachbody business, but we also help you build yourself as a brand. We help you build your social media, how you kind of meet new people and get your message out there. You're going to be in like an accountability group with other new coaches too. You're going to all kind of start together, which is really, really fun. You'll get to know each other. And then you're going to have one-on-one calls with either me or the person that sent you here or sent you this webinar. And some of the top coaches, so there's almost 300,000 Beachbody coaches or something crazy like that. And out of all of those coaches, our team has at least 7 leaders that are ranked 200 or below. Did I say that right? Yeah, under 200. I'm currently ranked 200. My Team Takeover, we're 200, which is awesome. And we also have some people that you get trainings from that are ranked number 7. And higher, which is crazy because they obviously know what they're doing. So the training that you're going to get is like top notch. It's amazing training. And then also corporate has tons of trainings, tons of events. It's awesome. And you can go on tons of trips too. Like I said, I went on that cruise, and we worked out all morning, and then we did a few trainings, and then we had the rest of the day to ourselves. But you get all of this training. It's always something new to learn. And there's just there's honestly such a need for us. I get asked sometimes, do you ever feel like the market is saturated with Beachbody coaches, right? Because you kind of feel like maybe all are Beachbody coaches. Like for me, I can log into my Facebook and my newsfeed is just all Beachbody because I'm so like engulfed in it. Like all of my best friends are Beachbody coaches. Like my team are like, they're like my best friends. They're the ones that I'm always talking to every single day. I have calls with them. Like we know each other on certain levels. Like my life is Beachbody. And I know that sometimes it can be a little like, oh, but how am I going to be anything, right, with all these other coaches? But you have to realize, like, yeah, there are a ton of Beachbody coaches, but there are 2 and 3 times as many people that need our help than there are coaches. I mean, and it's just, I mean, like for me personally, like I've been doing Beachbody coaching for 2 years now, and my mom just got on board with me. Like this entire time, she was like, no, you do your shake thing. You go in the basement, you scream because you sound like you're in pain. Like you're yelling and saying a lot of curse words and you come up all sweaty and red. Like, no, that's not enjoyable. It took her 2 years. My dad still is like, resist Shakeology, but like, that's the thing. I live with them and they're still not ready. There's always people that are going to need our help. And it's one of those things like you just kind of have to go in and just do it. There's never going to be like a right time, and an amazing thing too with Beachbody is like, if you actually commit to a program and you complete it, you get stuff for free. Like you get t-shirts, you get shirts that say, I did it. Like, I mean, imagine walking around with a shirt, Insanity, that says like, I completed Insanity. That's badass, right? I mean, you can win straight up cash. Like there's a girl on our team, Alexa Campbell, and she won over $1,000. Like Jackie's going to be next, like what we do is, we give you back what you put in, like you have the potential. I mean, imagine if you were the coach of one of those down there at the bottom. Insane, right? And the sad thing is too, I bet you can go outside, walk down the street and go get a cup of coffee, and there's people in line that probably have never even heard of Beachbody. I never did. I didn't know what Insanity was until I started dating my boyfriend and he was doing it. There's always going to be people. And I kind of just want to leave you guys with this because I remember when I first signed up, I heard this quote right literally before I wasn't even a coach, and it really stuck so hard with me. And 2 years later, I still think about it. If you don't build your own dream, someone else will hire you to help build theirs. I can't tell you guys how many times I remember sitting in that cubicle being like, what the heck am I doing? Why am I working so hard for somebody else? It just didn't line up with my dreams, with my goals. And I just felt that thing downside in my belly that I was meant for more, that I could do more. And obviously somebody has felt that you have that same thing inside of you. You were either invited to be here live with me, or you are, being sent this as a recording because either I believe in you or somebody else does. Like that's the thing. You might not truly see it in yourself just yet, but somebody else sees it. And you might have that little thing in your belly and it's all the way down there because you're just kind of scared and you're unsure, and you just really need to think about, what do you want? What if, like I said earlier, if you can imagine your perfect life, what is that like? If you were to, God forbid, if you were to die tomorrow, would you be happy? or if you could, have a steady income coming in where it also allows you to have financial freedom and be present in your kid's life, or be present with, anybody else, if you don't, even if you don't have kids, with your dogs, with your cats, whatever it is, whatever that big dream is, if you want to go buy a boat, you want to live, hang out on the water, any of that stuff. I mean, the potential is unreal here. So I really encourage you guys to reach out to either me. There's my information if you guys don't already have it. But I also really, if I wasn't the one that invited you here, please reach out and talk to the person that did invite you, because they believe in you, and I'm sure they want to continue this conversation with you. So I really thank you guys so much for taking time out and kind of hanging out with me on a Thursday night. I'm going to go watch Party Down South now. It's my guilty pleasure, and I'm so excited. I'm going to actually stop recording, but if you guys want to hang out and if you have any questions or anything like that, I will be happy to answer. If not, please make sure you contact the person that sent you there. And I hope you guys have a good night. Does anybody have any questions?